And hello, everyone. Welcome to our power scanning session. It is August 22nd, 2026. My name is Daniel, and once again, I'm greeting you today from our beautiful office here in downtown Montreal. And as you can see, we've made some changes. We've introduced those changes already back in our Lunch and Learn session on Tuesday. We're going to continue doing this. We'll see how this gonna pan out. So this session today is being streamed also live on YouTube at the same time. So we're seeing how this can what we can do with this live streaming facility. And yeah, I hope you guys gonna like it moving forward. So with this, let me ask you guys the question: where are you calling in from? Who do we have in the room today? Please put your location into the Q&A box. Who do we have in the room today? All right. Art is saying hello from Frederick, Maryland. Cloudy day. Okay, maybe not the best day for flying. Oliver is saying hello from Singapore at midnight in Singapore. Hey, Oliver, how's it going? Thanks for staying up so late. And we have the opposite end of the spectrum too. Daryl saying hello from San Francisco, 9 a.m. in San Francisco right now. Good morning to you, Daryl. Aubrey is there from sunny and mucky Cyprus. Nice to have you again, Aubrey. How's it going? We have Edda from Hamburg. Hey, Edda, how are you? I will be traveling to Hamburg. Well, maybe not directly. We'll see. I have a flight booked in about 2 weeks from now to go to see my family. And I'll be also en route to the World of Trading in Frankfurt afterwards, so I might be passing through Hamburg on that trip. Erkan, saying hello from Baden-Baden. Hey Erkan, how are you? And Andrea, welcome back, Andrea. I know you've been in our previous session as well as you know, or some of you may know, we have another webinar every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for our German-speaking audience together with CapTrader. Nice to have you on the session once again, Andrea. Back to back. That's awesome. Okay, and we also have GP from Los Angeles. Hey there, how's it going? Nice to have you. All right, perfect. Well, let's get into today's session. Now, what we're going to be doing today is to look out for swing trades. Approximate duration 1 to 20 weeks, give or take. Yes, it's not an exact science, but what's important about swing trades is that these need to be managed, mean that you should check your portfolio at least once a day to see, hey, should I adjust my swing trade, perhaps close my swing trades, perhaps open up new ones. So this is an active strategy. It's a trading strategy. It's not a buy and hold investment. That's important to note. And of course, we also realize that, hey, perhaps you don't have unlimited time for trading. Perhaps you do have a busy life. Perhaps you have other things to do in your life than looking for swing trades. And we completely understand. This is why we have created what we call the 13 minutes strategy, which is a process, so to say, which will allow you to find interesting swing trading ideas in just a matter of minutes. And the idea is that you incorporate this into your daily routine. How this can work and what are the best times to actually do this kind of scanning, we're going to see together in this session. And best of all, for me, I talk a lot and I'm answering questions and so forth. It will take me a bit longer, but normally this will just take 30 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes for you to do every single day. So it's something really that you can incorporate into your daily routine. All right. And just real quick for those of you who are perhaps joining us for the very first time, if you do, please put a 1 into the Q&A box of your Zoom tool. Or if you are on YouTube, put a 1 into your comment section there or into the chat section on YouTube so that I can give you personally a welcome for the very first time here. And hopefully, of course, I hope that we're going to make it worth your while. So real quick, who are we? We are tradingindicators.com. My name is Danny. I'm the guy here on the left-hand side. And together with Homer and Niklas, we have built up trading indicators from the ground up. We've been in the business for more than 10 years by now. And over the years, we have built thousands of trading indicators for clients all over the world. In Canada, where we're headquartered in Montreal. It's a beautiful day today, by the way, here in Montreal. I have clients in Germany, in the US, in Australia, and South America, really all over the place. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to use a couple of our flagship indicators to scan the market for the most interesting swing trading setups. All right, so how this will work, we're going to see together in this session. Now, a quick reminder, as you know, that trading does contain risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and setups and strategies discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. All right, with this out of the way, let's get started with a couple of housekeeping items. Now, you may have noticed, and just a couple of reminders of what has happened in the last couple of weeks. If you may have noticed, and if you didn't, please check it out, that we had a big announcement about 10 days ago, maybe 9 days ago, where we announced our partnership with a company called Trade Funder, which is a prop trading firm. It was a super interesting webinar. If you would like to rewatch it, the recording is now available here at tradingindicators.com/prop. So check it out there. It's an interesting webinar, and we have a very super special offer also available in there, which is still valid. Talking about the special offer, we have released a brand new indicator called Prop IQ, which is our first true AI-powered indicator, which also incorporates sophisticated testing techniques such as walk-forward analysis into its signal generation, meaning that only the most powerful and accurate signals will make it to the live stage. This indicator is available for a lifetime for $1,097. Check it out here at tradingindicators.com/AI. But as part of our collaboration with Trade Funder, you can get access to this indicator simply by signing up for a prop trading challenge with Trade Funder. So for this, just go to tradingindicators.com/prop. So on this link, once you go there, you see all the details listed. Go there, and as long as you are on an active challenge, you will get access to our new Prop IQ indicator. And lastly, also special that we have going on right now. If you sign up right now, you will save 40% off any such challenge. So multiple bonus offers there. You get free access to Prop IQ, and on top of this, you get 40% off the challenge fee. All this is available at tradingindicators.com/prop. All right, so with this, let's move on to the next part in our housekeeping items. What we're going to be doing today is to interactively scan for interesting setups using our Liquidity View dashboard and scanner. It would be best if you followed along. We offer a free trial. You will get instant access to our dashboard right away for 7 days. So 7 days free trial with all the features that come with the dashboard. So simply go to tradingindicators.com/view. The link is shown on the screen, I believe. Go there and sign up for a free trial. You get instant access, and then you can follow along step by step the scanning process that we're typically doing in this session. Moving on, we also have a Discord channel. You should see the Discord link displayed on your screen right now. It's tradingindicators.com/discord. The idea here is to build up a trading community where traders are helping other traders. Also, we're going to be posting new events in Discord, some tips and tricks and so forth. So check it out at tradingindicators.com/discord. And lastly, we also have an ebook. The link is tradingindicators.com/power of 3. The ebook is called The Power of 3, and it details the setups that we're typically going through in this session a bit further. Lastly, we value your feedback. So if you have any feedback regarding our dashboard, regarding our products, or whatever it might be, please don't be shy. Share your feedback with us. Your feedback is what drives the further development of our tools and services. So please don't be shy. Put your feedback into the Q&A box, or perhaps send us an email afterwards. The more, the merrier in that sense. All right, so with this, let's get started with our market review. So I'm going to switch over to our dashboard right now. Let me just go there. There we go. And let's see what has happened in the market in the last couple of days, starting with the SPY. All right, so the ETF that tracks the S&P 500s. Interesting scenario here, because what we predicted last week, and I didn't redraw this little triangle rectangle here, is, hey, we may see a bit of a pullback in the markets. And this is exactly what happened. Our prices came down, And whether they stop coming down to for now, of course, there's no guarantees that they may even come down a bit further, is exactly at this former resistance level here. This green line, you can see it here. This was resistance. It was broken back here on August 4th. Price initially went up a bit further and then retraced back down to this resistance level. We call this our zone break retrace setup. And oftentimes, this can be a launch point, a launch pin here for prices to propel higher, for prices to bounce off this level here, which is now acting as support, and trade in higher towards higher price levels. We also saw on, when was it here, on Thursday, we had a level 3 pullback in the S&P 500. It's the first one ever since back in July. So the first one here. The last one before this was about 1 month ago. Now another level 3 pullback. And oftentimes these pullbacks, you can see them here creeping in every once in a while. These are moments where you want to pay attention, where you want to potentially look for long entries, especially for long-term trending symbols such as the SPY. All right, switching over to the Qs, the QQQs, the Nasdaq 100s, it's a bit of a different story here. Why is that? Well, because here we did not make all-time highs. Here we did not, or prices did not break above the resistance level. So in fact, prices were last week right below this greenish area here, and we predicted, we made the, we discussed the scenario that we may see a bit of a push higher, which did not happen in the end, a bit push higher towards this zone here, and then potentially a bounce towards lower price levels. Because the classical bounce trade where we're bouncing off resistance. So it didn't happen completely as predicted. Prices didn't really go higher on Monday. Instead, we retraced a bit right off the bat. The entire week was a bearish week in the Qs for the most part. And now we're trading in the vicinity of this first MA rush line here, around the 713 price level. I believe that we may come down a bit further even, perhaps down to this level here, and this could be an interesting entry point to look for long setups also here in the Qs, in the expectation, yes, we might be able to see a bounce off this level towards higher price levels, and also here the long-term uptrend is going to resume. All right, so you can see this here, and also here we had a level 3 pullback, the first one since also back here in July. All right, but there might be a bit more coming. That would be my prediction. I think lots of this will be driven also by Nvidia's earnings, which is coming up on Wednesday night after market close. Nvidia will announce their earnings. $92 billion is predicted as the revenue. As revenue in that sense, and or as earnings, I believe. Now, whatever it might be, $92 billion will be one of the key figures to look at. But what's most important is the guidance. What is the outlook of Nvidia for the AI market moving forward, for the semiconductor industry more specifically? So this will be a big decision maker for the week, and probably also shake the QQQs once Nvidia announces their earnings, QQQs, but also the SPY potentially. All right, what about the IWM? The Russell 2000 ETF, also here, we came down a bit. All three major indices pulled back a bit last week, which is completely normal. These pullbacks are happening all the time. You can see all these little red patches here in Trend Radar, on Trend Radar. These are pullbacks, and you can see these pullbacks are a very normal phenomena within trending markets. Nothing goes up in a straight line. Things are pulling back every once in a while towards lower price levels. So we see such a pullback here as well. And I also think here there might be a bit more room to come back perhaps towards this level here, around 291, 292, this purple rectangle here. And if that happens, we may look for bounces off this level towards higher price levels also here in the IWM. All right, so pretty much business as usual in the big three indices. It's a bit more interesting now when it comes to oil. So oil is at a crossroad. And my initial prediction, and don't be scared of this picture right here, this may look a bit crazy, but my initial prediction did not work out. So I thought potentially, and this was my picture last week, in all honesty, it was something like this. I thought, hey, we're going to see some lower highs along the board. So this downwards move at a high point here, another high point here, maybe another lower high here, and then price is going to come further down. This has not panned out. Prices moved back up in oil, but you know what? call me crazy, but I do see a bit of a slowdown in momentum. All these candles here, they gapped a bit higher, but then they ended up a bit bearish for the day, even though prices propelled a bit higher. I think there might be some exhaustion coming in, and what I believe what might happen is that we may come close to this resistance level here at around 142. And then we may see a bounce off this level towards lower price levels. So I'm revising my this scenario just a little bit. Uh, if we, however, break above this level, that's going to be a different story then, because then this series of lower highs will be broken and we might get into a bullish trend, a complete bullish trend once again. So we'll see what happens. We're pretty close at a decision making point in the markets here for USO. Okay, or for oil in general. What about gold and silver? Wow, what a bullish week for both symbols, huh? Gold had some encouraging sign already last week. We mentioned it when I called out, hey, gold for the first time in quite a while, we broke the series of making lower highs with a high point here, high point here, high point here, here, and here, always moving lower. But this was changed last week. We broke above this high point here, breaking the sequence of lower highs. And now a nice follow through afterwards. Now we're coming closer to this resistance level here. But I believe our first very realistic target is at least this gap fill here. You can see this down gap. I drew it here. This hasn't been filled yet. We're very close. Our price is very close. We're only like 4 points away. And to fill this gap, I think this is going to happen next week. And then we'll see what happens when price comes a bit closer to this resistance level. Will we bounce off it? Or if we break above it, then I think this will open up the room to also fill this down gap here and this down gap here. And then once again, we're back to where we started back in January this year. So we'll see what's going to happen. This level now is our next line in the sand, our next decision maker, and we'll let the market decide once again what it wants to do. But I believe next week we're going to see at the minimum a bit of a gap fill here of this area. So silver. Silver passed its test so far. Let me show you what I mean by this. So what we discussed also last week was the following. Prices were right below this reddish line here. You can see this little red line on the chart here. This is a support level which was broken beforehand. Now it was broken here. And since then, it was been acting as resistance. The prices came back up to resistance, and it held for a while. But then, mid this week, prices broke above this level, and now we're on the clear. And I believe now what is our next target here for silver is to see, can we pass this high point here? It's not far away, only a couple of points. Then there's this gap to get filled and this gap to get filled. And also here, at some point, we're going to get close to this big resistance level here. And if you can also break above this one, well, then also here, we will be on our way, I believe, to where we used to be back here in January. So lots of bullish momentum coming in silver. A couple of testing points here, but definitely it looks more promising in silver here, potentially showing us, hey, there was a bottom being made here at the 60 or 49 level, and prices are recovering to the upside now. And lastly, Bitcoin. Oh boy, Bitcoin has awoken. Finally. I don't know if you remember, but I have mentioned it over and over again. I could not believe how sleepy Bitcoin has been. Look at the candle sizes here in the past. Like basically nothing going on. Sideways price action, prices oscillating with very small moves. Finally, it changed last week. The bill of the Clarity Act is back on the table according to Trump, which propelled Bitcoin to higher price levels. And now, you can see how fast this has been. I mentioned last week, hey, we are still miles away from the decision point here at 83,000, this big resistance level. Well, we're no longer that far away. Prices actually came up all the way to almost 80,000 on Thursday, or actually yesterday, I should say. Yesterday, 80,000. Now a bit of a retracement today. That's the live market. But we're nearby. We're nearby 83,000. We're going to see now if he can break above this level. To me, that's the line in the sand. If we get above this level here, this swing high here, also we're going to see a big shift in momentum in Bitcoin. So interesting times are happening right now in the markets. I'm really excited for next week and the next couple of weeks. I think there's lots of things will be much clearer after next week or very soon for some of these symbols. All right, so now let's have a quick look at our picks from last week. As you know, we always create a watch list of symbols which we found of interest last week. It was kind of a mixed basket so far. Let's see what we have picked. So we started with AFLAC. So AFLAC basically hasn't done much. Let me just see, where do we pick it? No, I think it came down a bit further. Was this on? Yeah, African earnings, I believe. So we bounced off initially, just slightly off this level here. This was our entry point last week. Then earnings came around and we bounced down, and now we are close to this level here. If you're in this trade, I would stay in this trade. I think this is just still a healthy correction within a strong uptrend. Only level 4 pullback. A bit of a, yeah, deeper correction than anticipated, but nonetheless, I believe this is still pretty much in order. Curtiss-Wright Corporation, yeah, this one did not pan out the way I thought. So here we actually lost this support level, and we came close to this former support level here, this red line here, and this former resistance level down here. So we're still bullish. There's no question about it, but this correction now has become a bit deeper than expected. But nonetheless, this could become now a sideways consolidation phase. I would personally give this trade, if you're in this trade, a bit more room, anticipating that this overarching uptrend is going to resume eventually. But it's definitely a bit of a deeper correction than anticipated. Okay. ENEL.MI, the Enel Spa Corporation out of Italy. Here the bounce happened. So we came close to entry level and we bounced towards higher price level. So this one has panned out as expected. Google as well, still pretty much where we thought, well, it's doing what we thought it might do. We're close to this support level here, anticipating a bounce towards higher price level. So I'm personally have invested into Google after this pullback, and I am still in this position. Yeah, with both short puts and also a direct investment, anticipating a Google, a Max 7 stock in a long-term bullish trend. This uptrend is going to resume in the interim. The Induces Corporation, or whatever it might be, the Industry Verden company out of Stockholm. Yeah, beautiful bounce here of our entry zone here towards higher price levels. So this one worked out nicely. Low blows, pretty much in our levels still where we were. This is a Canadian company. So also here, I believe a resumption of the overarching uptrend might be in order soon. Tanger, another one, nothing really happened here. We're still at our entry level. Snap-on, yeah, another company which did not exactly what we expected, but it's still a valid trade. So if you're in this trade, I'm not sure if you are, maybe send us a quick note in the chat box. If you're in one of these trades, we can look at these a bit closer. I would stay in. So I didn't execute this trade on my own account. We came down a bit more than expected. This was our entry level. Now we're trading a couple of points lower at this support level. And this kind of confirms what I've been saying a couple of times here and there. If there are two levels nearby, we can see this resistance level here, this former resistance level here, and this support level here right below. Oftentimes, it's the lower level, which is the more meaningful one. So this is a little bit what happened here. We came down to the second level, but I still believe we may see a bounce off this level towards higher price levels in the next week. And finally, Tapestry Luxury Goods Company. We did see a bit of a bounce early on, and prices came back down again. But nonetheless, I'm still bullish this stock here, anticipating that eventually we're going to fill this huge down gap after earnings that we saw here in the market. So here my outlook is also bullish for the next couple of weeks. So overall, as I mentioned before, a mixed basket. Some symbols worked out, some did not work out yet, I should say. Okay, so what we're going to do next is, of course, we will be on the lookout for something which will become of interest for next week. That's what we're all here for. Let's do it. So, what are these setups that we are typically looking for? First off, we like to go long. We like to trade stocks and ETFs typically in the long direction. Most stocks have a bullish bias. Why not take advantage of this? So, with this mindset, if we decide to go long, it makes sense to already pick stocks, at least in my view. It makes sense to pick stocks which are already bullish. The trend is your friend. It's an established, I guess, a proverb in trading. And in our view, the odds of a long-term trend to continue are simply higher than the trend to reverse. So we're trying to bank on this observation. But we don't want to go on blindly. We want to enter on what we call pullbacks. So when prices are very extended, very expensive, very far away from their average lines, perhaps that's not the best idea. We are waiting for pullbacks, for pauses in trend where prices will come down a little bit, and then we're looking for entries. And ideally, this pullback should be right in the sweet spot. Not too small and not too big. If it's too small, it's not really meaningful. If it's too big, maybe we're going to risk a whole trend reversal. So luckily, we can spot these pullbacks right in the sweet spot by means of our trend radar indicator. You can see it down here, where we're looking for pullbacks either 3 levels down or 4 levels down. So that is, to me at least, a pullback in the sweet spot. And then ideally, as the icing on the cake, as one may say, we want this pullback to coincide with a key technical level on the chart, either a support level or potentially a former resistance level. As we can see it here, we came up, broke resistance, price came back down to this green line here, to this resistance level, which is now acting as support, and prices will propel higher from that point on. All right, so let's see what we can find with our scanners. I'm going to move over to our scanner here, and let's enter these criteria into our scanners. I'm going to go back to all our status quo here, to all our symbols, and currently we're tracking 6,237 symbols with our scanner. Of course, these are too many to go through one by one. Let's filter them down. And the first filter that we're going to be using today is our trend filter. Remember, we are looking for stocks which are already in a long-term uptrend. I'm going to use our MA Rush column here, this one here, and select. This is my default my go-to criteria, bullish for more than 500 trading days. I'm going to change it later on to even 1,000 trading days, but let's start with 500 trading days. So bullish for 500 trading days. This will leave us with 1,081 symbols. So we filtered out about 5,200 symbols right off the bat, but still too many to go through them manually. So let's apply some additional filters. The next filter we're going to apply is we want to see a pullback, a correction down to a lower price levels. Unlike this one here, which is only pushing higher, we want things to come down a little bit. So how do we do this? So we're going to use our pullback column here and select level 3 or level 4 pullback. All right, so once done, now we're down to only 332 stocks. You can see, it's a nice top-down approach based on very clear criteria. Step by step, we're filtering down our list. And for example, one symbol we can see here, I'm just going to pick this one up, is the ABB LTD. Currently pulled down a little bit. Prices came down from the highs here, now trading near the average lines. These kind of stocks are already more interesting for us. Or here, ABCB, and see the Ameris Bancorp. Now we pulled back. Now trading close to, in fact, this is an interesting one here. Maybe our first pick for next week. Now trading close to a support level. This one here, and a level 4 pullback. I like it. Let me just go back a little bit here. Where are we coming from? Yeah, long-term bullish. And the stock, you can see it here, bullish since December 8, 2023. That's a long time. And we can see here prices came back a little bit. Let me just quickly see how fast this pullback. Yeah, only 7-8%. Almost a bit too small for me. That's only 7-8%, but the stock is very slowly moving. So let's add this one nonetheless to our watch list for next week. As you know, we're going to create a watch list every single week. So I'm going to create this one for next week as well. Add watch list. Oops, what happened? 1 second. Oh, did it break? Uh-oh. Let me see again. Create. There we go. Okay, weekly. Sometimes our dashboard has a small glitch, but it didn't happen here. Weekly swing trades. There we go. Colon 2026. I can't believe it's 2026 already. Whew. 8. What date is it? 22nd today. August 22nd. Create. I'm going to add the symbol to this watch list. You can see all these watch lists here. I definitely have to clean this up one day. Oops. So 1 second. There we go. And What I will also do is I'm going to share this watch list now with you guys with this little share button here. I'm going to click on it and I will share this watch list with you. As you know, as per our convention, we are sharing the last 5 watch lists with you. And this also would mean that this watch list up here from July 18, we're going to stop sharing. Perfect. Done. So now you should be able to see this watch list in your dashboard. You may have to reload it for this. And you should also now see this symbol here, ABCB, in this watch list. All right. So moving on, what other criteria do we have? This was kind of an accidental find, but we have some other criteria which we'd like to add to our scanning process, because we still have 332 stocks to deal with. So our last criteria, the icing on the cake, if you remember, was that we saw a pullback down to a technical level, which could either be a support level like this one here, or a former resistance level. And the way to scan for this is by using our filters associated with Liquidity IQ, this one here, and either select long bounce or long break retrace. And once done, look at this. We're now down to only 23 stocks out of more than 6,000 originally. These are the stocks which deserve our attention. Let's see what we have here. And mostly I do one more thing. I sort my symbols by trend duration by simply clicking on this MA Rush column here and select from highest to lowest. And the first one is, in fact, look at this one here, SNA, Snap-on Incorporated. The stock that we had last week already, I still think it's a good buy, even at this price level here. We're only a couple of points off our ideal entry point. It came back down a bit further than anticipated. I still like it for a long entry. If you're not in this trade yet, I think now might be even a better opportunity to get in even a bit cheaper into this symbol. So I'm going to add it one more time to our list. I'm a bit stubborn in that sense. So let's do it. So we're going to do a right click, add this to our list. All right. Done. Moving on. STLD, Steel Dynamics, a good old friend of us. You may remember we've traded the stock many, many times in the past with a nice pullback also here to key support. We even had a liquidity capture event at the second to last bar on Thursday. Also here, I believe we may be bouncing off this level towards higher price levels. I like it. I'm going to add this one as well to our list. Steel Dynamics, once again, making the cut for our outlook for next week. Done. Okay, WMB, the Williams companies, also interesting. Look at this one here. Beautiful long-term uptrend with very small swings. It's a very calm stock, so to say. The swings are not really high no matter what in this particular symbol here. If I measure this out from top to bottom here, from swing high to swing, from this high point here to our current price level, only 12% down. For a correction, that's really little, but I do like it. I do believe that this could also be an interesting long-term opportunity, long opportunity to anticipate a bounce off this price level towards higher price levels. Done. I can see some nice candidates in our selection today, just right off the bat. The next one, Bell Fuse Inc. Look at this one here. Also a long-term bullish stock. Nice, consistent bullish uptrend. Look at Trend Radar. In recent history, no pullback greater than level 4. Level 4 here. Level 4. Level 4. 3. 4. 4. 4. 3. Let me see when the last pullback was. That was a bit deeper. Down here. Back here in, when was it? June 2025 was the last pullback, which went below level 4. But even that one was quickly bought up. So I believe this could be also here an interesting long opportunity. Maybe wait a bit more. The prices come a bit further down, perhaps to the 241 price level, and then you may look for long entries here as well. So I like it. I'm going to add this one as well to our list. Bell Fuse. Moving on, Caterpillar. There we go. Also interesting. Let me make this a bit bigger here so we can see where we're coming from. Also here, level 4 pullback. Big industrial stock. Close to this support level here. I like it for a long entry. I think this might even have the chance to become our trade of the week next week. Nice pullback. Also here, the anticipation is that we might be bouncing off this support level towards higher price levels. I'm going to add also Caterpillar to our list. So it's really fast. So they're really good, many good candidates right off the bat from this very simple scan here in the Pro version of our dashboard. Next one. ESE, the ESCO technology. Let's see. How does this one fare? That's also good, but it's something I want to be a bit more selective. But also this one is of interest. Yeah, liquidity capture on the last bar, directly here at the support level. Let me just see, where are we coming from? How stable is this trend? Yeah, very stable. How big was the retracement? Level 4 on trend radar, but how big in percentage? Let's check it out. 22%. That's a good number. That's one. Sometimes the retracement is only 5-6%. Even though it shows us level 3 or 4 on trend radar, to me that's almost too little. That's not enough to gain. Should we come back all the way up towards the where we started from to this high point here? This one is a bit more interesting. So I'm going to add this one as well to our list. So many symbols. Oh boy. Okay, perfect. So it's going to be a nice opening on Monday. And perhaps one more. Ralph Lauren. Here, what do we see here? Maybe I'm going to skip that one. I think I'm going to skip this one for one glaring reason. Not sure if you can see it here, but I do see it. Look at this one here. This big gap here, this up gap from this bar down here to this bar the next day. Big up gap. This gap was not closed, and maybe the current correction in the market will be an attempt to come down all the way to this level here to close this gap. Let's have a quick look at our developer version to see what is the historical percentage of these gaps to happen. So I'm going to go to this dashboard here. And by the way, if things go by plan, we will integrate our gap scanner into the live version as of next Tuesday. So watch out for the Lunch and Learn session on Tuesday where we might introduce this brand new feature. So that's something that is almost done. So I don't want to overpromise, but hopefully we will be able to do this for next Tuesday. So please look out for this. So gap scanner, we talked about this. Let's open up Ralph Lauren. Where do we have it? Ralph, there we go. RL ticker symbol. I only have the gap indicator on here. And look at this one here. We can clearly see this gap here is still open. There's no check mark here. It's an up gap, and up gaps are colored reddish. Why? Because these are bearish symbols. Oh, sorry, bearish setups, I should say. Bearish setups, because oftentimes these gaps get closed. And if they're getting closed, then price would need to come down all the way to this level here to close this gap. But let's see how oftentimes these kind of up gaps have been closed, historically speaking, for Ralph Lauren. So for this, we have a scan column here. All right, up gap. You can see it here, 75% of all up gaps have been closed. And if you hover over this, 12 out of 16 have been closed. So not a perfect statistic, but still nonetheless, it's something that you may want to take into account. Some gaps tend to get closed more often than they are not. This gap is not closed yet. We may come down to close it. That's this is what technical analysis is all about. We're looking at these statistics and these setups and these patterns on the chart to predict of what may happen with price from a pattern analysis point of view. Okay, so I will probably not add Ralph. I will not add Ralph Lauren to our watch list because of this reason. Okay, so there was one scan, but we have other scans available. I'm going to show you some variety here. The next scan we're going to do is something that you've already seen in part. Let me see if I can find a nice symbol. Yeah, this one here actually fits. Ralph Lauren. Even though we're not going to add this to our list, but what you can see here on the last bar, look at this one here, is that we do have this shaded area. Let me just hide MA Rush just for a second. There we go. We have this shaded area here, which is a liquidity capture event. These are candles which come close to a technical level, cannot break the level, and these candles have above average volume. Oftentimes it's a sign that, hey, somebody else is also interested in this price level. Somebody else also finds this price level worthwhile trading at. And oftentimes a sign which increases the odds of seeing a bounce, because there are no guarantees, but we're talking about odds here, of seeing a bounce of this level rather than a break of the level. So, and we can scan for these. Let me show you how the scan works. So I'm going to clear my scan criteria here. Back to our 6,237 stocks. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be looking for stocks. Yes, I still want them to be long-term bullish, but my only other criteria is that we see at the very last bar a liquidity capture event at a support. So I can do this. I can go to this column here, liquidity capture. If you don't see it, make sure it's enabled here in your column configurator. You select the filter, select support, and select at the current bar, meaning I want to see a liquidity capture set up at the current bar. Look at this. Just like this, from with a couple of clicks, we're down once again to only 30 symbols. Let's check them out. Hawkins Inc. Interesting one. We traded the stock many times. We are now close to our projected entry area. Let me put MA Rush back on here. All right. It's a deeper correction nonetheless. But I feel that, hey, maybe what we're seeing right here is the bottom of the sideways correction. So you can see we made all-time highs back here in October last year. And since then, the stock has been oscillating back and forth. This is typical for a sideways correction. And within a strong uptrend, every time we come into the lower end of this sideways correction, these are interesting long entry opportunities. I'm definitely at the lower end here. With such a liquidity capture event at the last bar, let's add it also to our list, a stock which I have traded many times in the past successfully. So adding this one as well. And perhaps one more, let me just go through this list here a little bit further. We have Ralph Lauren here, we have Snap Inc., we had this one, we have Williams Companies, and perhaps this one here, QBEAX. Yeah, we had this one on our radar a bit earlier when they came down to this resistance level. Prices then came further down, but also here now I believe, okay, we are now close to the support level with a liquidity capture event at the last bar. I think also this could be an interesting entry point now to look for long entries here when the market opens in Australia on Sunday. With the time difference. So interesting one here. I'm going to add this one as well to our list. Oh boy, our list is quite long this time. Maybe I'm overdoing it. I don't know. But just so many interesting symbols. And there are even more if you go down the list here, which would qualify for these setups. Last scan, and then we're going to get to your symbols. Let's change it up one last time. So what we're going to be scanning now is the following. We will be looking for ultra long-term bullish stocks, meaning stocks which have been bullish for at least 1,000 trading days. And right off the bat, once we use this filter, we only have, or we filter down to only 129 stocks, just like this. Bang. Okay, great. And now within those stocks, let's find those which are currently in a sweet spot pullback using our pullback scan. So sweet spot, level 3 or level 4. Done. So now we're down to 46 stocks. So many of these stocks came down, but I'm going to focus on the one which is right here at the very beginning, Casey General Stores. One of my favorites. We discuss it almost every time when we look at long-term or super long-term bullish stocks. Look what happens. We pulled back from the high point here during the week down to this first MA rush line. It's a level 3 pullback as per our trend radar indicator. Long-term bullish stock, I think this can be a nice bounce opportunity, anticipating also here that this long-term uptrend will continue. So I'm going to add this one as well to our list. Where do we have? There we go. It's Casey's one second. Casey's General Stores. All right. Whew. Nice collection of symbols for next week. I'm quite excited of what may happen. So let's have a quick look at what we have picked. I'm not going to go through all of them again, but you can see them here. We have 10 symbols today. That's more than normal. Normally we have 7 or 8. 10 symbols today. Casey's and Hawkins, we just picked them recently. We have Snap Inc., the one we had last week, which corrected a bit deeper, but still an interesting bounce with a level 4 pullback. Steel Dynamics, an old friend of ours we've traded many times, along with William Companies. The Australian company I'm excited about. I think this one is of interest. I never traded an Australian stock in my life. Let's see. The main reason is because it's just a time difference. When I open up or look at the markets, the Australian market's already closed. I don't want to jump into something where the markets are closed. So I need to time myself to see, hey, when is this market actually open? I have to look it up. And then maybe on Sunday afternoon, if I remember, or Sunday noonish, I believe, maybe I'm going to look at the Australian market to see if I can jump into this trade if conditions are still promising. All right, Belfuse, interesting setup. Maybe here, waiting for a bit of a deeper correction down to exactly the support level and looking for a long bounce. Caterpillar, the classic stock, major company in the S&P 500s. ESCO Technologies, also a beautiful setup of a liquidity capture at the last bar, and ABCB, the stock that we found kind of accidentally. I didn't even plan on adding this one to our list, but also this one has an interesting setup coming off the support level for a bounce towards higher price levels. All right, So this was, our scanning session right now. And now, before we get to your request, a quick reminder: if you like how this worked and how fast you can filter down from 6,000 something stock to just a handful, maybe you want to give our dashboard a try. I'm going to put this link once again onto the screen right here. So free trial for the Liquidity View scanner at tradingindicators.com/view. Check it out. You get a 7 days trial. You will not be charged in that 7 days, and you can cancel at any time. So this is really a no risk opportunity that you may want to take advantage of. All right. So with this, now let's take a look at some of the questions. We have somebody from GP for training on Volume IQ and Liquidity IQ. Yeah, send me an email afterwards. We have boot camps and master classes for both indicators available. I'll be happy to send them to you. So GP, please, send me an email afterwards. I won't be able to look this up right now, but if you send me an email at info@tradingindicators.com, actually, let me put this link quickly into the chat. There we go. So it is info@tradingindicators.com. For my email address. Alternatively, you can also simply go, let me just show you how this works. Go to our cool homepage. Look at this one. It's brand new, tradingindicators.com. There we go. Our homepage here. Go to contact, put your question into the contact form here. This will also go straight to my inbox, and I answer every question personally. Okay, so do we have some symbol requests coming in? If so, please put your symbol request into the Q&A box. Can we take a look at Aramark from Oliver requested? Okay, let's take a look. 1 second, we go back to all my symbols. Aramark. Do we have this symbol here? Oh, I believe it's this one here. Aramark, yeah, I like it. It's just a gap once again here, Oliver. It scares me a little bit, this up gap here. So maybe this is going to get closed. I can see a couple of gaps on this chart. This one also was not closed. But let me just quickly see at our internal version here. Aramark. There we go. How often do these gaps close? So we can see these two up gaps, all reddish here, did not get closed yet. And the fill percentage is 80% for these ones. So these ones are the two only up gaps which are not closed yet. So just be a bit careful. These gap fills are a real thing. They may happen over time. So just be aware of this one. All right. What else do we have? Daryl, NVIDIA's earnings. Next week, I'm not going to trade it before that. Actually, let me go back to my regular view here. NVIDIA, there we go, with earnings coming up. And in fact, I'm going to add my corporate actions indicator to the list as well. 1 second. There we go. So earnings coming up. Here's the earnings symbol. And earnings in the past of NVIDIA never disappointed by the sheer numbers. You can see all these earnings symbols here in the past. They're all greenish, meaning from revenue and earnings point of view, the earnings did not disappoint. They were above expectations. So the last, look at this, all green, green, green. Nonetheless, it's not just about the sheer numbers, it's about guidance. What is the outlook of NVIDIA moving into the next quarters, into the next year? This will oftentimes impact the stock price more than the sheer numbers. So I will stay on the sidelines. Getting into earnings is a gamble to me. I will not do this. I can see a gap being here, and if we come down, honestly, if we come down after earnings towards this price level here, I like to get in after earnings, after pullbacks. That could be a great entry opportunity for NVIDIA, but I will not jump in beforehand. Too much of a gamble for me. Apple from Irvin. All right. I closed my Apple short puts last week when we came up. You can see it here. Apple came up towards this resistance level here, this intermediate resistance level here at 317. Reason enough for me to close my short puts for a nice profit. I bought them back when they're around 68% in profit. I sold them at this level here. Price went up. We had some time decay. Volatility went down with prices going up. So all good things for short puts. I closed them. I still have a stock position in Apple, which is more of a longer term position, which I'm holding on to, of course. I do believe Apple may see a gap fill here in the next couple of weeks, all the way up to 333. So from this point of view, I'm bullish Apple for sure. SpaceX, yeah, I actually dibbled also in SpaceX a few times. This has not much to do with fundamental, sorry, I misspoke, with technical analysis because there's so little price data available, especially on the daily time frame. But I did sell some 100 um, short puts at the 100 strike price. When prices came down a little bit here, I got almost 10% premium for these ones. So this would have given me an essential entry price of 90. I bought these ones back, but to me, my line in the sand. But there's really no backup for this. It's just a feel. Some of the stocks is also about feeling. I think 90 might be a fair price for SpaceX. So if you come down once again here to this level here, maybe with 110 area, maybe I'm going to sell some short puts again with a 100 strike price, collecting premium, which should be fairly high once again. If I get around 10%, maybe this would once again give me, if I get assigned an essential entry price of 90, which in my head could be the line in the sand. But from a technical point of view, there's not much to analyze on a chart of with so few bars. Aubrey on VLY. VLY. Oops. What is VLY? Let's go. Financial Services. Valley National Bank Corp. Aubrey always has good ideas. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, long-term uptrend, level 4 pullback, liquidity capture at the last bar, and long bounce. I love it. Nice one, Aubrey. Yeah, I think lots of financial instruments have come down a little bit last week. I also looked at UBS earlier today, which also came down to an interesting level. That might be another one. Yeah, I like it for potential long entry. In fact, let me add this one too. It's good to add some of these as well from our users to our list. Sorry, down here. There we go. And let's quickly look at UBS too, because I noticed that one too. UBS, big Swiss bank. There we go. Also, this one came. Oh no, that was the wrong one. Which one was it? That's not the stock I have in mind. This one I would not go long, right below resistance here. Okay, anyways, Olga, Intel, INTC. What's going with Intel? There we go, Intel. Okay, what do we see here? All right, coming down. We should look at SanDisk and Western Digital too in just a bit. Yeah, interesting one coming down to support here. If you come down perhaps a bit closer to this level here, I could see this as an interesting long opportunity, especially after the correction here of roughly, how much was it? Yeah, 30-40% in Intel down to support. Yeah, interesting one for sure. You know what? Let me add this too. Oh my goodness. This is going to be our longest pick list ever. Okay, but thanks. There's so many good opportunities this time in the market. INTU by Irvin. Okay, what is INTU? Intuit. Oh, yeah. Not virus, accounting software. Yeah, this one I'm not going to add. It's we're in a bearish trend, making lower highs, lower lows, coming up to resistance here. I have a bit of a gap to fill. Maybe we're going to come up to this level, which I think is possible, but I would not swing trade this one to the long side. All right. Aircon. Yeah, next weeks could statistically speaking be a bit rough. That's right. Seasonally, the next weeks are not the easiest ones. It's oftentimes a bit bearish in August and September before things pick up in October again. You're absolutely right. I still make trades in these circumstances, Erkan, but with less position size, just being smaller. In fact, right now I closed down many of my open positions already in expectations. Maybe we're gonna see a bit of a draw. So I'm quite a bit of my portfolio is in cash right now to begin with, but I still take some small little bites here and there. Why not? That's we're swing traders, or I'm swing traders by passion, especially with the options market and for symbols which I like no matter what. So even let's say Caterpillar, a stock which I like a lot, I would wait it out oftentimes, even if I get assigned, well, So if even if I'm in a drawdown or if I'm selling short puts and I get assigned at my strike price, I often just wait it out and then sell with a profit, maybe down the road a couple of months later. Yeah. And Ralph is asking, I think you selected one stock with a level 5 pullback. In general, wouldn't you want to wait for some sign of reversal when a stock is in a level 5 pullback? Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know which one we had here. Let me quickly see what that's. Yeah, for sure. I do that sometimes. I think the one Hawkins was one of those which we had today, which was based on a different scan. There we go. Yeah, Hawkins Inc. Yeah, all red here. You're right. You might want to wait for it. But here my theory for Hawkins was, and oftentimes you see these level 5 pullbacks if we are in a sideways consolidation. Then oftentimes, it's just going sideways. The trend is not clearly up anymore. You see these are all red areas here when we approach the lower end of the sideways channel. But to me, I mean, my theory is we are in a sideways channel and we are at the bottom of the sideways channel. That's my thesis, my trade idea. I might be completely wrong. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball in front of me, but from a technical point of view, from a pattern analysis point of view, I think it's it's sensible to some degree, and that's why I think that's a good. It's an idea. Whether I'm going to execute on this trade or not, this we'll see on Monday. And yes, sometimes it makes sense to wait for some bullish signs before jumping into a trade. Wait for some confirmation. Hey, this is really a bottom that we've picked here in the sideways channel. Absolutely. Okie dokie. Oliver. Oh, the video is lagging. That's good feedback, Oliver. That's very good feedback. So we're trying something here um, with this whole new setup that we're having. Maybe some other you guys out there can comment on this. Is this video lagging for all of you? Because we're just trying something out. We're trying to change it up. We're seeing what we can do with this whole new streaming environment. If it's lagging, then probably this might not be the best approach moving forward. Masa on Easy, yes, Easy Corp. I'm glad you asked about this, Masa. How are you? Uh, let's check this one out. So I'm very happy because the stock worked out very nicely. Easy PW, we had this one on our list, I think maybe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I remember it very clearly. Easy Corp, there we go, jumped up beautifully on Friday, exactly as predicted. And Masa's question is it close enough to the target to book some profits? It might be. There's never something wrong with ringing a register. We don't have that much longer to go until we hit this resistance level. Maybe a few more percentages. But yeah, if you're up nicely in this trade, why not ring the register? I mean, if you really want to stretch it, you may want to wait until you get to this purple rectangle here. But we're more than halfway through from our entry down here. Now where prices are right now, that's a pretty decent trade. TGX also from Masa. Okay, TJX. All right, TGX companies. Yeah, they had earnings. Earnings brought them below the support level. That's okay. So we went below. Now we have still one line of defense left, which is basically this level down here, this former resistance level. Yeah, I oftentimes, if there are two levels somewhat nearish together, that's the second one, the lower one, that's more important. Here, these levels are at one. Let me see how far they are apart percentage-wise. From here to here, yeah, roughly 10%. Yeah, I still like it it's a nice bullish stock, TGX company. It's a bit of a deeper correction, but maybe that's kind of the moment right now where you want to get in to the stock. It's a level 5 pullback, so it's a bit deeper, but at least we're coming close to a technical level. So I still kind of like it for that. Why is VLY not on the screen? It looks perfect to you. Yeah, that's a good question. That's the one that Aubrey picked. Let's see, what do we see here? No, it's on the screen. It was definitely there. It's just, that's the reason. All over here. So we had it as one of our filters 500 trading days bullish at the minimum. And it's so funny. I remember I had this discussion with Aubrey in Cyprus. I went there for the IFX conference. a month ago, a bit longer, and we met up, and Oliver Aubrey suggested to me, "Hey Daniel, give me a 250 bull filter." And in fact, we added this one in. Before this, we only had 500 and 100 because I know Aubrey. I think for him, his cutoff for bullish stock is 250 bars or more. And of course, if you use that one and use all the other filters that we had, for example, here, pullback, level 3 and 4, and long bounds, let's say, then you have VLY definitely in that list. So if you go down our list here, we have 41 symbols, and VLY is right here. Thanks, Aubrey, for this once again. Okie doke. So, what is next? Okay. ATI and DFTX. And Aubrey says there's no lag for you. Okay. By the way, guys, just on this is also being streamed live on YouTube. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can see the link on the right-hand side of your screen of the little YouTube icon. It's tradingindicators.com/YouTube. You'll be redirected to our YouTube. Actually, let me show you how this looks like. 1 second. So sometimes I'm still like a bit childish in this way. I like these technological things. It's exciting. So tradingindicators.com/YouTube. This will redirect you to our YouTube channel. And then what you should be able to see is that we are currently live. You can see this little live icon here. And if you click on this, you will be redirected to our live session here, this one here. Of course, only 2 people are watching. I know it's we're just starting this, and our invites still go out via Zoom. Most of the all guys are in Zoom right now, but you can also watch it here on YouTube, which is kind of cool. Okay. Anyways, let me go back to our list here. So, what was the question? ATI and DFTX. Okay. Let's see if we have these stocks in here. There we go. ATI Healthcare. Ooh, a gap up. What has happened there? Maybe some medication was approved or something. Gapped up. Too expensive for me up here. Far away from our average lines with a big up gap here, which might get filled. So not my cup of tea to jump into this trade at this price point. And DFTX. DFTX. We don't have it. Let me look it up on TradingView. DFTX. What is this one? Also stock, yeah. A gap here too, a big gap at this point here, which is always a bit scary for me, but even though this gap is quite far away from current price. Maybe wait here for a pullback towards this price level here to look for a long entry. I would definitely wait a bit for price to come down a little bit. Going long here right below this resistance level perhaps is not the best idea. Rolf says the video, it's working fine and I like it. All right, nice. We're gonna add some more stuff to it. I have so many ideas. I even have, I'll show you this guys here. I don't know if you can see it, this little panel, which will allow me, look at this, just to show you what I can do. We're gonna add some more animations to this. I can change between screens. I can go full screen only. I can put, for example, my little camera in the top right corner and all these kind of cool things. So it's really exciting. Anyways, okay. So it's like a little studio, a video studio at your fingertips. All right. And Chris, Moderna. Yes, I know they jumped up a lot on this newly approved cancer medication, which is awesome. If they can find a breakthrough, huge jump up. But look where they stopped. It's so fascinating. Even with these kind of announcements, this was not an earnings announcement. This was just news in the industry field. They had a breakthrough for some of the medications. Look where this move ended up, right here at this resistance level. And I bet you at that point, after this move, the implied volatility for options for Moderna were extremely high. And maybe a Burke-Call spread, which is essentially net credit, even though you have some security, probably would have been a great idea. Of course, it's hindsight now. Prices came down a little bit here, but that is also an opportunity if you can find those ones and stocks which have a long or short bounce set up at the time here. Definitely. Would I go long now? Probably not. A big gap here. There might be some corrections coming up. So no, we missed the boat here. And this stock was on our options alert, by the way. So everybody who had call options for this stock, with this move, would have made a small fortune on that options alert. Okay, perfect. I think we're pretty much through all the questions. So in this case, I'm going to go back one more time to my slides here. Quick reminder, Prop IQ is out there. If you're wondering what Prop IQ looks like, go to tradingindicators.com/prop. It's expensive for the lifetime license, but you can get it free if you sign up for a Trade Funder Prop Challenge. Tradingindicators.com/prop is the link for this. And for a short period of time, to announce and celebrate our new partnership with Trade Funder, we're giving everyone a 40% discount of any such prop trading challenge. If you don't know what prop trading is, also go to this link here, tradingindicators.com/prop. There's a video on top of the page where we invited somebody from Trade Funder to explain everything you need to know about prop trading. For which trader should consider it, which trader perhaps should not consider it, what is at stake, what can I gain, and so forth. All these things are explained very clearly in this webinar with Trade Funder. All right, with this, and Oliver says he missed it. I know it was on. I know it was on the list. Moderna, Oliver. Oliver saying that we had Moderna as an options alert on our list. It jumped, yeah, hugely. These options, of course, they all leverage plays. That would have been an amazing long call. Okay. With this, guys, I wish you all a great weekend. Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time out of your busy days. And I see you all next Tuesday. I will be personally not in Montreal. I'm traveling down to Saratoga Springs, which is not too far away from Montreal. It's about a 3-hour drive. I'm going to take my car to New York State. It's near Albany, the capital of New York. New York. I'm attending an investment conference hosted by my good friend and one of the first influencers in my trading life, Todd Gordon. So he invited me down there. We will even announce some new stuff at the conference. I'm going to bring this to you a bit later in September in Saratoga Springs. So I'm going to have a slightly different setup on that Tuesday, but hopefully on that day, I will be able to announce our brand new Gap IQ scanner for Liquidity View. That's at least my objective to do. All right, with this, guys, have a good weekend and talk to you soon. Bye bye.